products that became successful because we used them completely wrong. Coca-Cola. In 1886, Coca-Cola was known as a medicine sold by pharmacists to treat headaches and fatigue. But when customers started mixing it with soda water, they loved the taste. And that's when Coca-Cola as we know it shifted from a medicine to the world's most famous drink. Play-Doh. In the 1930s, Play-Doh was sold as a wallpaper cleaner to remove soot from walls. But in the 1950s, the company was about to go bankrupt. When the owner realized his nephews loved using it as modeling clay, it was then rebranded as a toy and became a worldwide hit. Listerine. During the Victorian era, Listerine was first used as a surgical antiseptic and even marketed as floor cleaner too. But it wasn't until it rebranded itself as a cure to bad breath that it finally took off and became a household name. Cornflakes. In 1894, the Kellogg brothers accidentally left cooked wheat sitting out too long and it dried into flakes. They tried it with corn instead, and cornflakes became the breakfast cereal we still eat today. Old phrases we still use today and where they originated from. During the Victorian times, thieves in London came up with a new tactic to make it easier to rob people of their belongings. One thief would grab the victim's leg while the other stole from them. This sneaky act eventually became the joking phrase, pulling someone's leg. Also during the Victorian era, portrait paintings were still very popular, especially amongst the wealthy. But working class people would often save up their money to get one. It was cheaper to be drawn just from the shoulders up. The more limbs you wanted to be painted, the more the artist would charge you. So requesting your arms and legs to be drawn quite literally cost you an arm and a leg. In the year 1801, when the British Empire was fighting against Napoleon and the French, an admiral named Admiral Nelson was ordered to retreat, but instead he raised his telescope to his blind eye and said he didn't see the signal and carried on fighting. That's where the common phrase "to turn a blind eye" comes from. Back when ships got trapped in frozen seas when delivering cargo to ports, the port would send men out with axes, hammers, even explosives, just to smash a path through solid ice before everyone on board froze to death. And that's where we get the phrase, "break the ice." Dangerous toys that were once considered safe for kids. Lawn darts, also known as jarts. This once popular outdoor game was originally designed for kids, but there was a serious flaw. The darts had sharp metal tips capable of piercing a skull. Tragically, hundreds of children suffered severe injuries, and after multiple fatalities, the game was finally banned in 1988. Clackers. Clackers were a popular toy for kids in the 1970s, consisting of two acrylic balls attached to a string that kids would swing together. However, the balls had a tendency to shatter upon impact, sending sharp plastic shards flying sometimes into the child's eyes or even skin. After numerous injuries, the toy was eventually taken off the market. Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab. Released in the 1950s, this science kit was designed to teach children about nuclear energy, but it contained real radioactive uranium. Exposure to these harmful materials posed serious health risks to everyone, not just the children, and after safety concerns were raised, it was eventually discontinued. Old traditions we still use today and where they originated from. During the Victorian times in England, umbrellas that were opened indoors were thought to anger the spirits that were living there. This superstition slowly wore off, but the act of opening an umbrella indoors is still frowned upon today in the United Kingdom, and is thought to bring bad luck to the people around. The ancient Celts of Britain and Europe believed that spirits lived in trees, so when the Celts were looking for ways to call for protection and gratitude, they would knock on the trees. This practice is where the famous tradition of knocking on wood came from. We still do this in the Western world today when we want to avoid bad luck or accidentally jinxing ourselves. In ancient times, early Christians would cross their fingers as a secret sign to recognize one another during times of persecution towards Christians. The crossing of the fingers symbolized the Christian cross and was a small form of prayer for protection. Today we cross our fingers as a way to wish for good luck, fortune, and hope. Insane historical facts I bet you didn't know. If we held a 10-second silence for every Holocaust victim, we wouldn't speak for over 5 years. Genghis Khan killed so many peasants that the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere dropped significantly. Henry VIII would eat up to 6,000 calories per day in his last years. That's a lot of food, especially for back then. During World War II, an estimated 50 to 55 million civilians lost their lives due to bombings, starvation, and massacres. Genghis Khan impregnated so many women that it is estimated 1 in 200 men are a direct descendant of him. In 1518, France was hit by a dancing plague, where people would dance uncontrollably without stopping. Many people died due to this, and it is still unexplained on why or how it happened. In 1932, the Australian Army was deployed to fight off a large amount of EMU. Despite using machine guns, the EMU outnumbered the soldiers, and the operation was seen as a failure.